Gravy. Basically, I am someone who, God, I really don't even know. I like to approach people as, you know, my name's Jacob Keller. I do online sales and I do brand promotion. You know, I'm not just a kid that sits on Instagram and will put on outfits and take pictures of your clothes. Like, I truly believe that I do a little something more for brands. I have, you know, one of the largest male fashion channels on YouTube. I recently just hit 101,000 subscribers. So that's a huge, huge deal for me. So YouTube, email me, let me get my silver plaque. I'm gonna hang it on my wall. This all started from where we are right now in this room. I was actually sitting where you are on my 13-inch MacBook Pro. And I got some stuff from like Plunder or Karmaloop or something. And previous to that, I would watch these, only like 2 dudes before me were doing this, well, that I knew of. And they would post Plunder and Karmaloop hauls. Like, they would like get stuff, take it out of the box and like hold it up and be like, yo, got this, and throw it to the side. Yo, got this, throw it to the side. And I loved watching, like I loved seeing the kind of brands they bought, the reason they bought that piece, blah, blah, blah. So then I just sat in front of my MacBook, opened up a box. I think I had 2 pieces from Mishka, which was my favorite brand of all time, like 2 years ago. And then I just was like, yo, I got this red tee from Mishka, and I got this red hat from Mishka. And then I didn't try them on or anything. I just like held them up and then ended the video. And it always progressed from, you know, taking things out of the box to then wearing them, spinning around, showing how it fits, to then doing full outfit lookbook videos outside with the music, to the point where, you know, I was getting a full crew of people where we spent 5 days to complete 1 lookbook. Man, the most surreal moment is, like, I know how, you know, materialistic and stuff this sounds, but when the brands that I was supporting for the longest time, when they actually took notice. So when Mishka, 2 years ago when Mishka would like my pic, I would screenshot it and then repost it on Instagram, which I would never do nowadays, but it's like, you know, I was so stoked about that. And, you know, as times went along, it progressed into where, you know, John Elliott gave me a call and told me, like, you know, he won GQ Designer of the Year. Like, this is a dude who clearly doesn't need me and doesn't need to take recognition of me. But he gave me a call and was just talking with me for like 15-20 minutes, and he just told me how I reminded him of himself when he was younger. And that to me was one of the biggest compliments of all time. Because to have, you know, a dude that you've supported and bought from, and, you know, is clearly being seen on LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, all of these athletes and celebrities, to have him personally take time out of his day to call me, you know, that's kind of when I realized, you know, maybe this thing that we're doing, like a lot of, because I got a YouTube community, you know what I mean? So maybe this thing that we're doing, you know, we used to get made fun of for it, you know what I mean? Like those kids that post videos, you know, that sit in front of a camera, but it's a lot more than that, man. So it's like, you know, we're finally being able to be recognized by, you know, the big guys in the industry. So that's kind of when I knew that it was going to be real. Never was a master plan. I just posted because I thought it was cool and I just needed a hobby. Because I was just sitting in my room at the time, like working out, like going to class, and I just needed something to occupy my time other than that. So I said, hey man, like I like watching these videos, why not make some of my own? So there was no master plan. And now, you know, 2 years later, as we hit 100,000, it's like, man, I really got to start taking my shit seriously. Which I have been, obviously, but there really does need to be next steps. Man, I'd love to fucking open a boutique. I mean, I know that that's kind of like a thing that a lot of people are wanting to do, but I think like with, you know, with people that we know, with people that I know, I really think that bringing another boutique to Portland isn't the worst thing in the world. I think it'd be awesome because I like retail, man. Like I love, you know, I'm a seller. Like I sell things for a living, you know what I mean? So I would love to get the opportunity to own my own store and sell the brands that I truly believe should be in a store. I love making my Instagram my personal Instagram. But I've been also told, like, yo, you need to kind of make it into a business Instagram where, you know, you're getting paid for these photos. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know. Like, I love just showing it personal. So I think they see, I don't know, maybe 60% of me. Because on Twitter and stuff, I'll just talk about, you know, squirrels, which I hate. Like, they're the scariest things alive. And I'll talk about Kylie Jenner, who I love. So, like, and they, you know, they kind of, like, catch on. It's like, if I keep doing these repetitive things about my personality, they end up, you know, associating that with me. And it has nothing to do with clothes, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with fashion. And I don't think a person should be just one thing. I don't think they should just pigeonhole themselves into that. So I like to just, you know, show people my personality. On Instagram, you know, I'll post an outfit and be all serious and stuff, and then the next day I might post a Photoshop picture of me and Kylie Jenner. It's kind of scary to think of yourself like that, you know what I mean? Because that means, you know, everything you do is being watched closely. And I guess that is kind of the case with me, you know. Everything I tweet and everything I Instagram is going to be seen by, you know, tens of thousands of people. And I do want people to look up to me and, you know, take what I say to heart, because when I was, you know, growing up and when I was, you know, hitting puberty and, like, you know, starting to get into high school and stuff, you know, I didn't really have someone to look up to for, like, clothing wise and just to give me confidence. You know, I was a pretty, like, shy, like, not really the most confident kid, kind of overweight. So I never really had someone to say, yo, you should be wearing this. Like, man, go to the gym, like, you know, like, do all these things. So I kind of, like, want to be, if kids would let me, you know, I would want to be that person for them. You know, I've been called the white Ian Connor. I don't really like to think of myself as that, as well as Ian Connor is doing. I think he kind of promotes this sad, negative, I don't like life, aspect to him, and I really am the kind of the opposite of that. So I guess I'm the opposite white Ian Connor. Another dude that, you know, I really look up to as well is John Geiger. I guess him and I kind of do the same thing. He does it with a combination of sneakers and fashion, and I do it mainly with just clothing. So like he'll you know, he gets seeded by Nike a lot, whereas I'll get seeded by other, like, clothing brands, and we kind of are on the same level that way, and we both do things outside of our daily jobs. So that's another dude I really look up to, and if you guys haven't checked him out, for sure, just check him out. So Tyler Blake is one of my closest friends, and we met, man, maybe a year ago at, well, we talked before that. You know, the YouTube community is pretty close-knit. So he is the sneakers to my clothing. You know what I mean? So when we were going into Nike and Adidas meetings, because they were wanting to get our knowledge about, you know, how we see these brands towards millennials, we were telling these Nike and Adidas people, like, you know, I'm the fashion dude that helps these you know, these youth, and he's the sneakers dude that helps these youth. So I like to think of us as opposites, but, you know, very, very similar. The positives of the internet and social media is that, man, like, you can become whoever the hell you want to be, and that can also be a negative, but I'm going to talk about it in the positive way. It's like, man, you really can start over, and I mean, that's how I got everything I have today, is through the internet. And some negative sides is that, yo, people just open their mouths, man, without even thinking. And it's like, man, come on. You know what I mean? It's just like, is it really that serious? There's people that sit on these forums on, you know, these fashion blogs all day, and they just post back and forth, and there's like, they literally just talk bad about people. It's like, man, you really don't have anything better to do? Like, I know the internet's great, and it's like made people who they are today, but it's like, man, you need to be able to step outside of that and take positive, I mean, like, if you can't use the internet in a positive way, like, get off. And I know people are like, well, you shouldn't let it get to you, you know what I mean? Like, people are just going to talk, but it's like, man, anyone that says that doesn't have emotion. Like, things get to people, you know what I mean? Like, words hurt, man. So it's like, it's not even worth it, you know what I mean? Create something positive for yourself on the internet and really try to do good. And I think people will take notice for sure. I think, like I said earlier, I think it's a combination of personal and business. I think I see a lot of these Instagrams, and all they are is their outfit. All they are is what shoes they're wearing. All they are is, you know, the newest shirt they got. And there's no personality to that. No one is able to attach to a personality. So what they're going to do is they're just going to follow you for clothing. And then when you do post something personal, they're not going to resonate with it. They're just going to be like, who the hell is this? Whereas I think I've created a nice combination of, yo, here's what I got, you know, in the mail, and here's what I'm doing today, and here's who I'm hanging out with, and here's something funny that I saw. And I think on the internet, you really need to create a personality. A lot of these Instagrams, like I was saying, are just posting about the newest fashion. And it's like, man, there's nothing, you know, deeper than that. All it is that surface level. And I think that you need to be able to dig a little bit deeper in order to create, you know, the 50K, you know, that I have on Instagram. That's cocky, but you know what I mean? It's like, you need to be able to do a little more than just posting what you're wearing, basically.